McCarthy joining us as he does every Monday. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Welcome. Happy to be back.
Happy to have you back. I'm happy. I'm happy to be back myself with everything that's happened in the past month.
I gotta ask you. I gotta have you ask me a question. Can you ask me if I watched the NBA All-Star game?
I don't have to ask you that question because I already know the answer, and it's the same as mine.
No, please humor me. Humor me.
I'll humor you this way.
Okay.
I'll answer that question for both of us. Who actually watched NBA All-Star Weekend? There. And did we actually watch or care about the All-Star game?
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
There. How's that?
Louder for the people in the back.
Oh, louder for the people in the back? Okay. For those of you in the back of MSG or Old Chicago Stadium, did you care about the All-Star game?
Woo! Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
There.
I mean, it's funny. I didn't get a chance to send it to you, but I went to my Twitter. I'm not going to call it X, my Twitter account, my personal Twitter account on Sunday. And I said, you know what? I am not going to be surprised if one or both of these teams score 200 points because we became so close last year.
Yes.
And at the midway point was what the score was 104 to 86.
Mm-hmm.
And the final score wound up being 211 to 186. I'm going.
Yep.
This is my shocked face. This is my shocked face. It was coming. It was coming. And I said on last week.
It's been coming since 2016 when the West scored 196 points.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's been coming. I mean, what the fact that there's barely any incentive to play this game.
None.
Period.
None.
Like at least with the NHL, the players get some sort of incentive because the winning team splits $1 million between everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's just no incentive to try to play defense, to try to get a key stop. I mean, at least back in our day, I'm going to sound like an old head here, but I don't care. Back in my day when I was watching basketball in the 90s, in the 80s and the 90s, those Bulls teams, the Lakers, Celtics, Pistons, at least there was some pride. At least there was some pride for your conference. There was pride for your teams. Like, I got to represent my team, my city in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great. And now it's just like, oh, yeah, I'm here.
There's no trash. There was no the All-Star game is trash. There was no pride. That was my sentence.
No.
There's no pride in the All-Star game anymore. None.
No, there needs to be an incentive for these players. Like, I don't know. The NHL is the NHL for everybody. People giving crap saying, "Oh, it's a boring product. It's this and that. Nobody watches."
No, it's not.
They've at least adapted to the times. They've at least adapted to. Okay, well, we can't have any more of these high-scoring draft games where you have one team with no conferences. We just have guys picking other players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this year they kind of did that with the 3-on-3 format.
Yeah,
with celebrity head coaches, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for Toronto, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't have like 15 to 13 scores anymore in a 3-period game when you're playing 5-on-5 and guys aren't barely putting any effort into it. No, you gotta give them something to have. You need to give them some sort of incentive to play. Have some sort of incentive to try and just have some pride.
Exactly.
Have some pride in your conference. Have some pride in the team that you're playing for. I mean, this time you play with your friends, but I think I'm not sure what the format's going to be next year. Plus, NHL's return to the Olympics in 2026, so we don't know if we're going to have an All-Star game then. NFL, the Pro Bowl, it's trash. That's trash too. I hate that flag football format. I hate it. Hate it.
Man.
And with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game,
Mm-hmm.
they haven't really changed their format, but what brings people in is the home run derby.
Yeah.
That's what brings
that gets me.
Yeah,
that gets me because
me too.
one of my favorite players actually won a home run derby, Frank Thomas.
Yep.
Frank Thomas.
Speaking of baseball,
yes, sir.
Mr. Snowman. I announced it last week on No Credentials Required. Shameless plug. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I am declaring my candidacy for Major League Baseball Commissioner in
2030.
2030. And there are two formats, and there are two platforms that I am running on. While I have no experience as a lawyer or as a Major League Baseball owner, I owned a website for a while. That's pretty much it. And I own a car. I mean, I've owned cars. I mean, that counts as owning something, right?
Same.
But here are my two major platforms for running for commissioner. Number one, no more blackout restrictions.
Yes. Yes.
No more blackout restrictions. I despise that. I despise blackout restrictions because I live in a market where it's dominated by the Yankees and the Mets. As you know, Snowman, love my Yankees. Love my Yankees when they're, I didn't pay much attention to them last year because they were crap. Let's put it forward. I mean, when Aaron Judge got hurt going after that baseball in Dodger Stadium and breaking his toe on that wall,
season over.
Fait accompli. No more Yankees.
Season over.
Down.
Yeah. What's the brew this morning? What's a brew?
Don't let the cup deceive you because my coffee cup is currently in storage. We're having some renovations done. This is Cameron's Hawaiian blend. Haven't used the Keurig. Got to use the Keurig. Can't use my French press of Invader coffee, unfortunately. Maybe I'll order some K-cups. Maybe we'll order some Invader coffee K-cups later. Anyway, back to my original.
I hope they do because I'll order some myself. All right.
Hey, go for it, man. Yeah. So no more blackout restrictions. Blackout restrictions. I feel like blackout restrictions. They suck. Well, yes, they suck, but they also keep the average fan from watching. Like you can't watch. We live in an age where you can stream everything. You can stream an audio. I mean, I love the MLB app because I can at least listen to baseball games. I can listen to my Yankee games. I can listen to the Yankees.
And I absolutely adore John Sterling and the way he calls games. I adore. I'm from Chicago, and I adore John Sterling. Yeah. I love John Sterling.
Yeah, and while I can listen to Yankee games, I cannot stream them on the MLB.TV app. If I were to if I wanted to stream a Yankees game or a Mets game, I would have to buy a VPN license. Put it on my phone, check in from somewhere else, and then I can watch the game. Or I'd have God.
That happened to me after we came back from vacation, and I had my surprise visit to Kauffman Stadium. I'm like, okay, let me lock in here and see Denny Matthews do his thing. Because what I did a long time back when I had the MLB app before it exploded in popularity back in 2016, what I would do is I would have the video on, but the radio call on. And I'd flip back and forth between the different radio announcers. Now they won't let you do that anymore. They won't let you do that unless you buy $100 package.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, MLB, that ain't fair.
No, it's not fair. Same with the NHL. Same with the NBA. If anybody really gets into the NBA anymore, and same with NFL.
No,
I mean with NFL. I mean, I can actually NFL. You can watch live games from your market on their app.
Yeah, we do it with the Colts. We do it with the Colts every week.
We
live an hour and a half This is how confused the area I live in is. We are an hour and a half south of Indianapolis and an hour and a half away from Cincinnati. When we had cable, and I capitalize and stress the word had, Jody would always tell me, find the Colts game. And I didn't have my NFL subscription at the time. So we would look and try to pull up the Colts game, and all they would show is the score. I said, skip this. This is worth $15. And that day, and since that day, I've had the NFL app. Even during the off season, I've kept the NFL app. Fubo Sports are crooks. YouTube TV are crooks.
I will say this about Fubo. I like the fact that I have the Red Zone.
Okay.
I like that. And they have the MLB has like the similar type thing. They're going to start doing that. They started doing that last year. MLB Network started doing it was called the Fast Pitch, or can't remember what the name of it was, but they had something similar to Red Zone.
I think it's Fast Pitch.
Yeah, where it had something similar to Red Zone. Every night they would do some similar to that. So what they would do is that they would focus go to a game, stay there for a couple minutes, and go over to another game, stay there for a couple minutes, see what happens there. It was fascinating. It was fascinating, and I wish they had that for So no more blackout restrictions. And I understand. And here's the thing with me: I live 3.5 hours north of New York City. The Bronx, Queens. I live 3 hours west of Boston. I live 5 hours north of Philadelphia.
So you're right in the middle of that triangle.
The Albany area is right in the middle of 5-6 major metropolitan areas. We got Montreal to the north. We got Buffalo Buffalo and Toronto to the west. We got Boston to the east. We got New York City and Philadelphia down south. So we're in the middle of all these markets.
Everything. Yep.
And if I want to watch, with the NHL, if I want to watch a Devils game, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. It's always Rangers or Islanders or Sabres. That's disrespectful to the Devils fans. And I was hoping I was hoping that because their deal with the MSG network ends this year, that they would maybe switch, because they're now considered one of the hottest teams in the NHL in terms of fan base growth. Their fan base has grown 26%. I read Stan Fischler's report on Hockey News. And Stan Fischler, God bless you, buddy. He's in his 90s and he's still writing about hockey. I love it. I love this guy. But he was saying that the New Jersey Devils are one of the fastest growing fan bases in the NHL. What's MSG do? And what's MSG and MSGSN doing? They're stiffing their fan base. So I was hoping what they would. So I was hoping what they would do is that they would go over to say to Yes Network or SNY, hey, we have a demand. We have a high demand to watch hockey to watch our team and MSG can't fit us in.
And it's getting higher every year.
But from what I understand, MSG and Yes Network are going to collaborate on some things next season, starting in the fall. And they're going to be doing some stuff. I think I would have to hope that there will be more Devils games on Yes Network. And I would buy the Yes. And another thing with the blackout restrictions, if I wanted to watch a Yankee game, I would have to get a Yes Network subscription.
What?
And that's $130 a year.
No,
out of my pocket. I would get all 162 Yankee games. I guess I would watch the Brooklyn Mets. I mean Nets. By the way, Jay-Z, move them back to Jersey where they belong.
The New Jersey Nets, man.
The New Jersey. I would.
What's bad?
Jersey, I would take them back as my team.
You know what's bad? He moved them to Brooklyn, and then stepped away, and then got bought out. And the bad part is there was some discussion for a while of moving them back to New Jersey, but then all the Brooklynites shut that down. Crazy.
What they want to play in that cavernous arena called Barclays Center? has some of the worst sight lines in sports.
Awful.
No.
God awful.
No.
I mean, people
Well,
were praising the Barclays Center, and I'm like, why? If I ever,
even the Islanders hated playing there.
yes, if I ever called a game at the Barclays Center, they better have me on press row, on the floor. Because if they have me upstairs, like most arenas do, but I love Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. I love that place. I've called state championship games there. I had a chance to work with the fabulous Bill Schoenig, who's a very dear friend of mine. And I worked with Bill this past November for the Spurs and the Pacers. Had a blast. Man, sightlines like that I can deal with. Oh, and also a shout out to the fabulous Pacer voice, Mark Boyle. I had a chance to meet and chat with him. Many people told me, "Oh, Mark's has a stick up his rear end. He won't talk to you." Bill introduced me to Mark Boyle, and Mark shook my hand, and he said, "I hope you have a fabulous career." Only thing is, I did get a chance to get a picture with Mark Boyle because it was at halftime, and he had to return to what he was doing. So most of the arenas now, their radio and television crews are upstairs, but they are in a place. Same with hockey, because I checked out a few Blackhawks games. They're in a place where the sight lines are great.
Yeah.
If I ever make it to Brooklyn and make it to the Barclays Center, which is what I plan to do with the Snowman Stadium tour, they better have me in a place where I can see what the hell's going on. Because if they don't, I'm going to be madder than hell about it. Because if the fans can't see what's going on, and Islander fans have talked to me, Nets fans have talked to me, and the Nets fans agree with you. They need to go back home to New Jersey.
Yep. And praise the Lord that UBS Arena opened, because that looks like a fabulous arena. I want to visit.
It's on my
Islanders
list.
game then there. Yeah.
It's on my list.
So
UBS Arena is on my list.
So the second thing on my platform for my commissioner bid for 2020 for 2030, I would reform the Baseball Writers Association of America, and I would find a way to get some of these guys who have not been elected to the Hall of Fame into the Hall of Fame.
Pete Rose.
There are two men. Wanted to point out, unfortunately, I'm kind of short for time, but I want to talk about the 5 athletes who deserve to be in their respective Hall of Fames. There are 2 men who deserve to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame who are not in the Baseball Hall of Fame because of the ridiculously arcane rules that the Baseball Writers Association has in regards to eligibility and how long somebody could be on the ballot. Don Mattingly. And Lou Whitaker.
Sweet Lou Whitaker.
They're
not in the Hall of Fame. It's a travesty.
Damn shame that they're not in the Hall of Fame. They're not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And they had to make some sort of reforms. You have to either cycle in more writers. You have to cycle in either cycle in more writers or get the writers who have been there forever out. Like you have like the eligibility for players, you can only be a voter for so long.
Right.
I say you be a voter for 10 years, 10 consecutive years. After 10 years, you have to be in a moratorium for 2 years. Because a lot of these writers and these guys who elect baseball players to the Hall of Fame, there are certain players who are not in the Hall of Fame because they have a grudge. They hold a grudge against them. And I can name a few of them off the top of my head, and I know it's going to be controversial that I name them, but I'm going to say them anyway.
Sam.
Barry Bonds. Sammy Sosa. Roger Clemens. Mark McGwire. Certainly Alex Rodriguez is going to be on that list someday.
Rafael Palmeiro,
who went into well, after that unfortunate circumstance of testifying in front of Congress, he's been in hiding ever since. But he deserves to be on the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Ivan Rodriguez in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so.
See,
and for the football side, before you go, there are two names.
Roger Craig. Roger Craig. Roger Craig's one of them. I know. I've been on that hobby horse as long as you have been on that hobby horse.
I mean,
the first man
it's like I said,
season.
If you can celebrate Marshall Faulk having a 1,000 season, if you can celebrate Christian McCaffrey having a 1,000 season, and came close to doing it.
Bold prediction coming soon. Breece Hall.
Bold prediction. Within 2 years, McCaffrey and Breece Hall will have a 1,000 season.
Well, provided Nathaniel Hackett actually properly utilizes him in the offense, because
he actually calls plays correctly.
Took him all to week 15 to figure out that Breece Hall is the centerpiece of that offense. Idiot.
To borrow the immortal words of one Iron Eagle, Breece Lightning. But I have been hell-bent on finding a way to get Roger Craig voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I've had people show me his stats, and they said, well, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't have the numbers. He was the first player in NFL history with a 1,000 season, 1985. And he accomplished that against the Dallas Cowboys in the final game of the year, where the Niners had to win to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
Did they get stomped by the Giants? Absolutely, they did.
But they did.
I mean, 2 consecutive years, they got stomped by the Giants.
Yeah.
I will take those L's. I will take those L's with pride, because I love Bill Parcells and his Giant coach teams.
And I have 2 more names for their respective Hall of Fames before I take off, because I'm up against it.
Right.
Hockey Hall of Fame, Alexander Mogilny, one of the first Soviet defections to come over from the Soviet Union, playing the NHL. 200-point seasons, won the Stanley Cup in 2000 with my New Jersey Devils, won the Lady Byng Trophy, one of the leading Russian scorers, period, in NHL history. And I don't know if you'll disagree with me here, Snowman, but hear me out. Robert Horry.
Yeah, I agree.
7-0 in NBA
titles.
NBA Finals games. Yeah, 7-0 in NBA Finals games. One of the greatest 6 men of all time. All rookie team in 1994. And one of the greatest clutch shooters. Period.
Just ask the Sacramento Kings. Just ask the Sacramento Kings in 2002, and just ask the Detroit Pistons in 2005.
I gotta run, Snowman. But tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern. No credentials required. We're back.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you. All right.